to Lies You Can Trust. Excuse me. I just about threw up. Almost did it again. But America shall succeed. We're going to suppress our vomit. Here is where we like to pull back the veil of deception to expose what's really going on in the world to help spread the light of truth and freedom because truth conquers. So, with that said, Cal, get out of here. He's leaving, ladies and gentlemen. I just ate my lunch in record time so I could be here live, almost on time. Thus, I wasn't almost throwing up. I was just maybe a little bit almost thrown up. But, at digestion. I'm not on Ozempic. But you know what? There is some new corruption going on about Ozempic. We plan on getting to that. Tucker Carlson revealed it with an amazing guest he had on, Callie Means. There's some interesting stuff going on in the world, my friends. Brazil bans Twitter. Wow, that's fun. That's fun. Why'd they do that? Well, I'll give you my take. You don't get the truth, but like what Brazil said, like, words are dangerous. Are they? Also, President Trump just, I would call it a bombshell podcast, just came out on the Lex Friedman show. There's a clip of that you and I need to look at together because there is a certain list that Trump says he will release if he gets back into office. And that particular list with some names on it of high-powered people might make it make more sense that they tried to assassinate him, and it might make it make more sense that they probably will try again. And for all we know, they have since, and we just don't hear about it. Rumors I've heard is that the assassination attempt you and I both know of, that was definitely not the only one. That's the rumors I hear. And it kind of makes sense. Like, there's copycat mentality. There's like a gateway of permission the more you hear about something. So, I don't know. Use your own discretion. Is that true? Also, I want to talk about, later on in the show, will they actually allow Trump to win the election? I'm not talking about, will they, let him win? Like based on a free and fair election. Not what I'm talking about is if he wins the election, will they allow him to win? Will they allow him to be president? One of the most brilliant minds of our time, Eric Weinstein, has something to say about that. And it didn't make me feel good to hear about because it's one of those things where there's comforting lies and there's uncomfortable truths. And him and his brilliant mind were speaking uncomfortable possible truths. There were definite truths in there, but there's some potential truths that have yet to play out. So we're going to talk about all that and more. What else? Yeah, and then other stuff. I like to not load up. Here's everything we're going to talk about because a lot of times we don't get to everything we're going to talk about. But we will discuss the most important pressing matters of our time. By the way, let me know in the chat how you're doing. What's on your mind today? How are you? What are you thinking about? Tell me now. Or I'm a victim of lack of communication. How could you do this to me? By the way, I see Green Tea in the chat. Bob Factor, Big Dog, Shadow, Mother Effer, Merlin Maggle. Thank you guys for being on. The rest of y'all, we got the turnout of a Kamala rally. There's 3 trillion people generated here by AI just showing their support for me. So it's all about me. Before we get to, we're going to start the show with funnies as we usually do. But I do want to give a shout out to our beloved comrade Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for bravely doing, or at least Kamala, her very first sit-down interview since becoming the elected nominee. Not a single vote, but that's who the people chose. Did we? Yeah, that's what we told you chose. And you're going to like it. Damn it. So obviously she's ran from the press. We have more clips of her running from the press. Tim Walz has been an expert at running from the press. Yeah, they'll get up and here's my teleprompter, here's the scripted words I have to say, but they haven't been taking questions. So shout out to Kamala and Tampon Tim for sitting down with a really tough interview on CNN. By the way, they weren't even softball questions. They were softballs like put on a tee. It was like T-ball softball questions. I watched that thing so many times, not because I wanted to, but because I made an interview of me interviewing her and Tim. That should be out tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I had the opportunity to do the first interview with Madam Vice running for president, and boy, it did not disappoint. She admitted some things you'd think she never would have admitted, but I pulled it out of her in a way only I can do. I'm like the Tucker Carlson of made-up interviews. So anyway, look for that out on all my channels, specifically Rumble and YouTube tomorrow. All right. I see more of y'all in the chat. Thank you for being on. I don't know if I mentioned it's a beautiful day here in Central Texas. By beautiful, I mean low 80s, so it feels cold to us Texans that have been braving the adversity of heat that's been trying to suppress us. I want social justice against heat. I want more climate change. Colder in the summer, warmer in the winter. I think everybody wins. And it's raining today, which has me in a good mood. It's just a little shelter from the heat and sun. It perks my mood up. So got that going for me. Also, I'll share this with you so I can be a victim. I hurt myself in the gym last night. I didn't like it, but did what's it called? Like a strain in the tendon of my VMO, vastus medialis obliquus, my left leg. It's one of the quad muscles. So I'm mildly limping around, feeling sorry for myself, mostly feeling mad at myself because that's like, I can't train legs hard for at least 2 weeks, probably 3 if I'm smart, 4 if I'm really smart, but I'm definitely not really smart when it comes to pampering myself. So let's get to the funnies after a drink sponsored by Bubbly Water. Fired up today. Fired up. We're going to save the world a little bit. Hey, there I am. That's what that looks like. What the left promises and what the left delivers. Now, unfortunately, this may or may not be funny to you, but if it is funny, it's funny because it's true. Of course, the left, and think like far left, what the commies, the World Economic Forums, the Kamalas, what they promise. Oh, life is just going to be grand. We'll take all your tax money. And because we're the government with no actual business experience, trust us to spend it wisely. And of course, what the left delivers, you look at the far left cities, San Francisco, New York, any of them, and this is what it's like. This is not an exaggeration. This is actually exaggerated because there's not bodies laying down. There's not feces there. So this is, the bottom picture is actually exaggerated. It's exaggeratedly pulled back. Oh, wow. Just seen this headline on Twitter. Kamala Harris 2011 hit and run resurfaces. Can't wait to learn about that. Let's learn about that together right now. All right. What's this all about? Kamala Harris hit a 13-year-old girl with a car and left the crime scene. Good. Well, it's probably good. How can we spin this? Yeah, prosecuting crime would be racist against me because I'm an Indian. No, but I'll be black today. I'm black. You can't do that. In June 2011, Kamala Harris allegedly struck 2 pedestrians in San Francisco and fled the scene, leaving a 13-year-old girl paralyzed. Jeez. Alicia Brown, a victim, claims Harris' team intimidated her mother to keep silent. Story resurfaced after her mother's death in 2024. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Is this a video of it? It's a almost 5-minute long video. We're not going to look at that. So this is all alleged. I can't confirm or deny any of this, ladies and gentlemen. But what I can confirm is On the left, you see the angry feminist that we've all come to feel cringe about. And on the right, there you can see her today. She's aged well. I mean, she looks exactly the same. I would dare say probably more masculine in the picture on the left, but, who's to say? It's weird. Like, why do they call feminists feminists? Because they don't act feminine. They don't act like women. They're women who are trying to behave like men because they hate being a woman so much. And they're so mentally compromised through propaganda that they think the more they behave like a man, the more they're behaving like a woman. But it's just like this masculine, I would say they are the purveyors of toxic masculinity. So I don't think feminist is the right word. I think masculinist. Not even good ones. Toxic masculinists. All right, next up. I found this interesting. This is a screenshot, fabricated. I don't know. I'd like to think maybe not. But from transgender rights movement, 98% of straight men refuse to perform oral sex on a feminine penis. No such thing. Due to their bigotry and hatred of trans women. End genital-based bigotry. Your sexual orientation may be transphobic. This is bigotry itself. This is heterophobia. Like a person who refuses to perform oral sex on a penis, who's a man, that's because they're heterosexual. And this is heterophobic. Where's my flag? I don't know. I guess my flag's right there. You can see it in the background, just holding up the fort. All right, what's next? This one. Same theme, mind you. This is just great. Colin Rugg, one of my favorite follows on Twitter. New. Trans people are currently fuming after two... You have to pay attention to this. The hypocrisy could not be higher. Trans people are currently fuming after two female OnlyFans creators pretend to be trans to sell their OnlyFans subscription. The trans community is lashing out, saying that women are pretending to be a gender they aren't. Let me repeat that to you. The trans community is lashing out, saying that women are pretending to be a gender they aren't. And if it needs to be explanation, the trans community are people pretending to be a gender they aren't. No hate. They have the freedom to do that if they want. But the self-awareness here isn't large. Some are even wishing death upon the women for changing their gender. People like this need to hang in the gallows. Yeah, and there's some nasty things written. Now, here's my question. A trans ideology, it's based on the science. So, let me get this right. You believe the trans ideology. What you believe is all it takes to be, say you're a man, all it takes to be a woman is for you to say you're a woman. Your genitals, your chromosomes have nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. All it means is you say you're a woman. But these women who say they're like the opposite gender, I guess that would be a man. These OnlyFans women, I don't support OnlyFans, but these women who say they're a different gender, wouldn't the trans magic work there? If you say it, that's what makes it true. Even if they're not serious when they say it, the science of it would say that if they say it, then it's true. Because if we start to question the science of the trans ideology, it's almost like the whole house of cards falls. And it's almost like we realize the whole house of cards was never standing up in the first place. But you have people pretending to be the opposite gender, pretending that the house of cards is still standing. And pretending that it was standing in the first place. So, I get off my... It's not even a high horse. I'll just get off my... It's not even a horse. I'm just like on Earth with gravity. That's where I'm standing. This is not some big position like, wow, I can't understand the science of that. I didn't go to Stanford Law School for science. All right. I want you to know you're a bigot. I want you to admit it. Please admit it in the chat right now that you are a bigot. I want you to know. You know what? If you won't admit you're a bigot, that proves you're a bigot. If you do admit it in the chat, that also proves you're a bigot. It's almost like I see everyone as a bigot because that's what I am, but I don't realize it because I have no self-realization capacity. Therefore, I project my reality that I don't acknowledge onto everybody else around me, and everybody else appears to be what I am that I deny about myself. Classic projection. Studied Carl Jung, you bigot. Yeah. Now I know why Twitter was banned in Brazil. Did they ban Rumble too? I thought I read they did. It would make sense if they did. Brazil, y'all are kind of screwed a little bit. Talk more about that at like a time that is soon to be. If I could quote Kamala, we will talk about that in a time that will be like how it is now, but it's like the future now. Then. When will now be then? Soon. Spaceballs. Look into it. Next funny. Them. You don't need 30 rounds for hunting. Yeah, you need more than that if you're not a good shot. Me. I don't think you need six booster shots for a cold. But here we are. Very good. Very good. Now, this next one. Put your tampons in for this one, my friends. Especially you men. This will appear to be just like nothing. Like, who cares? But what it actually is. 15 high-rise demolished in China because the construction company ran out of money to complete the project. All right. I don't care about that. But watch the destruction. We're going to turn the volume off. Watch these buildings fall. One, I think it's just amusing. Like, that's like a big game of Jenga right there. Then also, if you watch them fall, the way they implode was not nearly as efficient as the way the Twin Towers imploded on 9/11. Shout out anniversary coming up in, what was it, 8 days? Was that an inside job? I don't know for sure, but I do know you're not allowed to question it. I have questions. I do have questions. I don't have certainty, but I do have questions. I have suspicions. Like, the way that buildings imploded is the biggest one. That's neither here nor there. That's what the demolition of the Twin Towers was more engineerily efficient than those clearly demolished buildings. If you need to get outraged, now's the time to do it. Look for a safe space. Like a park. I don't know if that actually, if you're in a Democratic city, a park's not a safe space. You kind of got to go to a deep red area to find a safe space. Look for cowboys carrying guns in their holsters. Then you know you're in a safe space. Okay, next up, funnies. Now, this next segment of funnies, they're not meant to be funny. They are leftist politicians like being funny, but they're not trying to be. And that almost makes this like, is it the funnies section or is it the sad section? Probably depends on who you're going to vote for. For me, it's funny. So Kamala Harris, she is black. We're going to prove that in a second. But here she is. We're going to turn the sound off. Getting out of her stupid car. Okay, we got to rewind just so you have some context here. She probably salutes the wrong person. So you'll notice she has headphones in her ears. Yeah, she's not a Bluetooth gal. She's probably concerned with EMFs, that kind of thing. I'm sure she is. So just establish she has headphones plugged into her phone, and they are in her ears. And there's press around. Now you might say, well, she's running for president. She's a confident, politician. She's a brave, confident woman, isn't she? So why would she be afraid to talk to the press? Why would she avoid them? Well, she does. Why? It's anybody's guess. But here, she shamelessly avoids them by pretending to talk on her phone. Here's how dumb she is. Okay. Got the phone. Her phone's up to her ear. Whatever. It's up to her ear. We've established this. She has headphones in. So if her headphones weren't plugged into her phone, which they are, that would mean she wouldn't be able to hear her phone very well because she's got headphones in. It's a physical barrier. But they're plugged into her phone. And the hypothesis here is she's pretending to talk on the phone so she doesn't appear as though she's ignoring the press. But she's got her headphones in. That's how she would be talking on the phone if she was talking on the phone. Nobody's ever put their headphones in. Oh, I got my headphones in. I got a call. It's just like her crappy campaign video when she got the call from Obama. Remember that? It wasn't fabricated, okay? She happened to have 4 cameras on her. She answers the phone. Before she puts it on speakerphone, you hear Obama. So it's clearly on speakerphone in this make-believe world. Then she puts it on speakerphone so you can see his stupid name. Then she puts it back to her ear. Here's the deal, Kamala. If you have headphones in, don't put your phone to your ear. If it's on speakerphone, don't put your phone to your ear. If it's not on speakerphone, you don't have headphones in, then you put your phone to your ear. It's like the more she tries to deceive, the dumber she looks. She just needs to learn how to deceive better. But I'll tell you who didn't deceive anybody. A strong, mentally fit Joe Biden, as we were told he was up until 2 months ago. Then all of a sudden we start to question it. He was at a Kamala campaign rally. I'm sure he was super stoked to be there in, I believe, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, just maybe yesterday, the other day, September 2nd. So yesterday, they pulled him off the beach, more like carried him off the beach so he could go campaign for Kamala. That's a questionable strategy too. But boy, did he not disappoint. Take a look and listen.
You can no longer be the manufacturing capital of the world. Where the hell is that written? We are the greatest manufacturing city or county in the world, state in the world.
Oh, say that again, Joe.
We're going to remain that way. Eric Dean, the Iron Workers. Tim Driscoll, the brick players. April Bell, the SEIU.
So sorry, as I'm messing around with my sound, if there was any question, just so you know, that's not English. One more time, the best part, Joe.
You can no longer be the manufacturing capital of the world. Where the hell is that written? We are the greatest manufacturing city or county in the world, state in the world, city in the world.
County in the world, state in the world, city in the world, after coherence. So, boy, oh shit, I wasn't even showing that. All right. Forgive me. One more time, Joe. Sorry you have to deal with this incompetency on me. See, I wish Kamala would be more like me. Like, when you're being an idiot, just say you're being an idiot. She should be like, hey, press, I'm not going to talk to you because I'm going to look like an idiot pretending like I'm talking on my phone while I have headphones in. You got to be able to mock yourself.
You can no longer be the manufacturing capital of the world. Where the hell is that written? We are the greatest manufacturing city or county in the world, state in the world, city in the world.
Oh, he landed that plane pretty well. We're proud of you, Joe. Now, Kamala, you're going to see 2 videos. They're both spectacular. These 2 videos were taken approximately 5 hours apart. One, she's speaking in Detroit with the thickest black accent you've ever heard her speak with. Puts Atlanta to shame. 99% of the time, she does not have any kind of black accent. And I'm sorry if that's not politically correct, but we know Like, that's what people call it. The next video that you'll see after this one, she's in Pennsylvania. Same group of unfortunate people that had to watch Joe Biden try to say something, had to hear her say something, and you'll hear her say the same thing. Two completely different accents. Huh. Are you saying she's not genuine? Well, I'm not saying anything. I would just like to say, you be the judge where to go. Oh, did I close that out? What a jerk I am. Don't worry, I'll find it for you. Yep, here we go. Coming in hot.
You better thank a union member. You better thank a union member. For the 5-day work week, you better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. You better thank a union.
Just so you know, that's not how she actually talks. Now you might say, JP, you might say, JP, that you have no business declaring how she talks. Well, nope. Based on her own standards, that's not how she talks. Because here she is saying the same message the way she normally talks.
Thank unions for sick.
Thank unions, not thank a union member.
Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
Is there a more clown-like clown? Now, here's my question to you, my dear freedom-loving friend. We know she's a puppet. Like, get up there, say these words, Kamala. Who is telling her to do that? I don't think she operates with enough sovereignty to do that on her own. You just have to imagine, like, the speechwriter with blue hair, half a shaved head, pronouns on her name tag, and probably face piercings through her cheeks, chain linked to her butthole. Just kind of like, dude, this is gonna be good. Yeah, I have an idea. I have a good idea here. I'm gonna earn my paycheck today. Wait a minute, I shouldn't earn my paycheck. That would be too capitalistic. Let me just do a crappy job so I can be more entitled to my paycheck. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we're to put faith in Kamala, then I think repeating what she says is a good idea. So, my dear freedom-loving friends, you better thank a union member. You better thank a union member. Like the speechwriter. You know how, like, Biden on his teleprompter speeches, he'll always say, like, end quote or whatever. I could imagine the teleprompter says, like, okay, like, accent like you were born in Compton, California. And then, like, when she's talking to a white audience, like, it just says talk normal, or like talk like you were raised on Martha's Vineyard or whatever. It's amusing. Clowns are amusing. Like, how are you not amused by this? Are you not entertained? Gladiator. If you see a clown, you better be entertained by a clown. Cheers to that. Now, in a second, we're going to get to the Trump releasing a certain Epstein list. This is hot off the presses. Just released podcast Trump did with Lex Friedman, who I think is a brilliant thinker. He's someone doesn't appear to have a lot of bias. He's just after truth, and he's got a brilliant mind. So we're going to take a look, newly released clip right before this show. Trump talking about a certain list he will release. It has to do with an island. But because we can't talk about that list on YouTube, fun fact for you, the first video of mine that got censored, it was about Epstein's client list and him not killing himself. This was even before COVID, my dear freedom-loving friends. So if you think for a second that YouTube wouldn't censor speech on this, then you are mistaken. So if you're watching this live stream on YouTube, we only stream the first portion of it to YouTube. I'm going to click that off in just a second. So I would love to invite you to keep the American flag waving with us. So please go over to my Rumble channel right now. You'll find me Awaken with JP on Rumble. We're going to be sailing through the rest of the show and getting to some hot topics that, let's just say, can't be discussed in Brazil or countries that ban Twitter and Rumble, nor can they be talked about on YouTube. So we're going to do that now. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, please migrate over to Rumble. We have open borders at Rumble. Actually, not. It's a very sovereign area. Therefore, there's a border, but only you can due process yourself over there. So Awaken with JP on Rumble. See you there. And if you're on Rumble, stay right here because we're still doing it. Update stream. Streaming to Rumble only. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good. I don't know if that worked. Watch this. Can you see that? Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Is that still on? Streaming to Rumble. Yeah. Did that end? Okay. I think we're good. We're good. I don't know if that worked. Watch this. Oh, is it still going? Okay, good. Okay. Watch this. We're going to be getting back to business in just a second. This is just high production value of someone. Yo, Cal, comma, I just tried to end the stream to YouTube, comma, don't totally know if it worked or not. Can you double check and confirm with me so I can talk about things that are censorable? Wow. Normally I hate voice to text, but that actually worked. So before we get to the Trump interview, we were talking about the Epstein client list. I do want to tell you about something very important, ladies and gentlemen. And we know there is nothing more important in life than being properly caffeinated with premium coffee. Let's get straight to it. You love freedom of speech, right? Yes, you do, or else you wouldn't be here. That are rare and endangered species that Rumble's out here fighting to protect. The show you're watching right now. Oh, yeah. You love free speech. Take two. You love free speech, right? That rare and endangered species that Rumble's out here to protect. The show you're watching right now, endangered species, it's here because of